Stampede, Buff and Beyond, 2004. First and 10 from their own 36-yard line. Moving from left to right, ball inside the right hash mark. Trips left formation. Flat out of the shotgun, flank to his left by Lawrence Vickers. The junior quarterback calls for the ball, takes a chest high, retreats to the 28, steps up, flush to his left, looking downfield now, rifles it downfield. Ron Monteilh, all by himself, kicks to the 20-yard line. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Colorado! 5 seconds remaining, and the Buffs go deep down the field, punting senior Ron Monteilh to take the lead in the waning seconds against Kansas State here in Boulder. Buffs and Beyond. And what a game that was. On November 13, 2004, Buffaloes go on to win that contest 38-31, and there was a reason, Larry Zimmer, they called him Big Play Monteilh. Ron Monteilh joining us on the phone right now. Ron, how are you, man?
Good, how you guys doing?
Doing well. That's got to bring back some memories. That was an exciting night at Folsom Field against the Wildcats.
Man, it was amazing. It was amazing, and it was one of those moments to where, you know, you feel like as a receiver when you're out there, you're just reacting the whole time, and the whole play was just, you know, us all reacting to everything, so you kind of black out on those moments. But yeah, I do remember bits and pieces of it.
Ron, you were so wide open on that play. I suspect you looking back at the ball, and it seemed like it would never get there.
Yeah, that's one of the moments I do remember is, you know, watching the ball in the air, and it felt like it was in the air for about 10 minutes. But, you know, it was one of those plays to where, you know, first day of installation, you go over the scramble rule, and you never think you're going to be in the situation where you're actually going to have to use it, and it's actually going to win you a game, you know. So, you know, it was you know, paying attention to the details and meetings and knowing what to do in that situation really paid off.
You guys were tied at 10 at the half in that ball game. You went up 24-10 at the end of the third quarter. Then K-State came back and they had a long drive and took the lead. The guy who threw it to you, Joel Klatt, who we see so frequently around the Mile High City, works in the media. In the huddle, he had to be just about as cool as the other side of the pillow, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, he stayed as cool as the other side of the pillow too. So, you know, whenever we were in the huddle or, you know, in that kind of situation, there was never any panic at any time because, you know, he was the captain. He was, you know, just a great leader. So we just all kind of fed off of him in times like that.
Well, you caught 3 other passes in that game for a total of 106 yards, and that was your career high. So I'm sure you do remember that game.
Yeah, you know, that was one of those games. It was my last home game, you know, and one of those games I'll definitely never forget. And just one of those, I think my focus before that game was a lot higher than normal. It was a little bit emotional before the game, but, you know, we definitely, I'm just glad to say that I won my last home game at CU, and, you know, everything went well.
That was the game, in fact, the 6th of the season, the victory of the season for the Buffaloes, made them bowl eligible. Buffs went on, of course, to play in the Big 12 championship that year, and then won the Houston Bowl over Texas El Paso. Ron, when you consider your time and that time period you played for the Buffaloes, there was a lot of upheaval during that time, obviously, and that's understating everything. How do you look back on your Colorado career? Do you look back on things fondly, or was it a tough time for you?
There were some tough times, but overall, you know, I wouldn't have had it any other way. You know, I'm one of those people that doesn't like to look back, and, you know, I wouldn't change anything that I've been through because, you know, it just makes you who you are today. Just in my time at CU in general, you know, I transferred to Colorado from Oregon State, and I would never regret doing that. You know, never regret going to CU, and like I said, everything that happened there, good and bad times, because there were both, without a doubt. You know, they just help mold, you know, the person you're talking to right now.
Now, but you and your teammates, you stood tall during that whole episode, and I think you're better off for it.
I do too, and I still talk to some of those guys, and I think we're all, you know, better for it. And, you know, it just, you know, kind of a young age, that kind of prepares you for life, you know, and that was one of the hardest things I've had to go through, and, you know, definitely made it through it well.
Ron, bring us up to date then. Right away, we're talking with Ron Monteilh, who got that 64-yard touchdown against Kansas State in a 38-31 victory over the Wildcats back on November 13, 2004 here on Buffs and Beyond. As we come to you from Manhattan, Kansas, Colorado on the road against K-State today. Tell us what you're up to. I know after your career was over with the Buffs, I know you tried out for the Buffalo Bills, did some Arena League stuff, and what are you up to now?
Yeah, I tried the arena thing, and, you know, I had fun doing that, but, you know, just had to come to the realization football wasn't for me long term, and, Just working out. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and you know, I'm just out here working. Just bought a home, and just blessed to be doing everything that I'm doing, and blessed to have everything that I have. You know, so I can't complain at all.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we always, CJ and I were joking earlier, we said, I said, Ron Monteilh is going to be on, and we both said, you know, might be the best-looking football player that he has ever had. He's a good-looking man.
I appreciate that.
You bet. And of course, K-State always played, I think your first start of your career was against Kansas State. You got quite a history against the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think it was as well, if I remember correctly. Maybe started in the slot, you know, after I set out SCU, but yeah, that last game against Kansas State, I mean, I'm fully aware that that's what people are going to remember me for, you know, 5-10 years down the line, which is what you see now. So that last Kansas State game is one I'll never forget.
Well, he was a Prepster All-American, and by the way, a Beverly Hills High School kid, so one of the original 90210ers, Ron Monteilh. Hey, it's great to catch up with you. God bless you. Sounds like things are going well, and please stay in touch.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron. Great to talk to you.
All right, that is Ron Monteilh. The game was November 13th, 2004. The Buffaloes knock out Kansas State at Folsom Field, 38-31. Exciting one there, and that was the longest play of Ron Monteill's career.